Hi there, friends. In this video, I'm going to give you a little bit of a behind-the-scenes tour into my Magnificat exhibition. I'm going to be working on this project the rest of the summer, and it opens in September in St. Paul, Minnesota, at the Benedictine Center, which is a part of St. Paul's Monastery. I'm just going to show you a little bit of my process today. I'm going to answer some questions that I've gotten about the motivations behind this work and why I chose the Magnificat and what I think is interesting. And you'll get to see a little bit of the materials and techniques that I'm using to put the work together. So sit back and enjoy, and I hope you find the process kind of interesting. So a few people have asked me, why the Magnificat? Why did you choose this text? And the answer is actually that I really didn't choose it. When St. Paul's Monastery invited me to exhibit, I asked them if they wanted to help me choose the texts that I would illuminate for the show. The original plan was to do a group of illuminated psalms peppered with some other scriptures, and they named the Magnificat as one of the texts that would be meaningful to them. And the more that I tried to create a cohesive plan for this project and draw it together thematically, I felt drawn to the idea of just engaging these 18 lines of this one song in scripture. And it felt kind of daunting at first, but the more I thought about the project, the more I wanted to engage with the challenge of illuminating single lines of scripture. Once I get done studying the material, I tend to have kind of a rich vocabulary of images bouncing around in my mind that came up as a result of that study. And so I will sit down and start sketching either in my sketchbook or on some paper, and then I will develop an idea for what kind of a textural landscape I want to live underneath the ink. I'm using a texture paste for this body of work to create this heavy layer of texture underneath certain parts of the painting. And what that kind of does for me is it gives the work a little bit more physical presence. And I've spent a lot of time kind of thinking about the expansion and scarring and changing that happens in the female body when she's carrying a baby. So Mary delivers this Magnificat while she's pregnant, of course, and while her body is growing and changing and stretching to accommodate him. And so I want this work to have sort of a physical presence, because this is not just a spiritual indwelling of the Lord in Mary. It's a physical dwelling too, which she's the only human being who's gotten to experience it in quite that way. And I find that fascinating and beautiful and awe-inspiring. One of the things I'm most excited about with this project is that I have a friend, Kathryn Heidelberger, who's a fantastic theologian, collaborating with me. And the way we decided to collaborate is that we would both respond to the same material in our medium. And so my medium is painting, obviously, and Kathryn's medium is prayer. And so she is writing a prayer that reflects on each of these lines. And in some of the cases with some of the paintings, I have her prayer there as I'm working on the painting. In some ways, she's affected also by my visual language and the conversations that we have. And so it's a really beautiful thing. Kathryn's actually going to do a studio visit, I think, in July. And so hopefully we'll be able to take some video together and maybe get on camera talking about what this collaboration has been like for us. So once I'm comfortable with my color scheme, I'll go ahead and start painting. And my paintings happen in lots of different layers, so it's kind of difficult to show you the build-up and growing and changing of it. But I tend to mix paint a lot on the canvas or mix this ink. I'm really using ink. I think of it as paint, but this is an acrylic ink, also made by Daler-Rowney. I really, really love the product. It's a lot of fun to experiment with, and you can both control it and you can also let it move on its own. And so I love the process of discovery that happens with this medium. Once I get the painting to a place where I feel like it's finished, I will go ahead and build the shadow box for the painting. I decided I wanted to kind of have a hand in every step of this process because I like that aspect of it. And working with my hands in a way other than painting actually kind of allows my mind to wander, and it helps me to work out problems I'm hitting in paintings, or it helps me to have space to explore and think about passages of scripture that are kind of stumping me visually. And so working with my hands and building these shadow boxes, it has been a really interesting part of the process for me. So I suppose one of my hopes with this work is that it will give anyone who engages it some pause to consider deeper the heart and the situation of Mary, and how she responded, and how God gave her the tools to respond, and the heart and the spirit to respond. And what it says about the heart of God, the character of God, the kinds of people that he saves. And it's always really exciting for me to think that people are asking those kinds of questions. Thank you again for joining me in this video. I hope that you found some of the information interesting, useful, maybe even inspiring. If you liked this video, I would love it if you liked or commented below, and if you subscribe to my channel on YouTube. If you're watching this video via social media, you might have to click through to YouTube to subscribe, but that would be really helpful for me in just knowing that you're there watching, that you like this content, that you want to see more. I hope that you all have an excellent rest of your day or your evening, and thank you again so much for your support. It means the world to me.